Right, we are back again with UFC this weekend. We've got back-to-back numbered cards. Last week was UFC 324. We are now got UFC 325 in Australia. The featherweight title is being defended. Volkanovski is defending against Diego Lopez. This is a rematch. This is the second fight. Thoughts about it? I'm not too sure. Do I think Lopez deserves a title shot? No. Obviously, there's other contenders who do. I think we all can agree with, like, Mozart, Evloev deserves it. Laron Murphy, should have been one of them two. More so Mozart. But hey, it's Diego Lopez. Last year they fought. It was an absolute banger. So to be fair, at least we should get another banger of a fight. You know, last week Paddy and Gaethje put on a fight of the year contender, and it's legit the first event of the year. So you know how we're going to do it. We're going to talk about the main event. We're going to talk about Volk. Then we're going to talk about Lopez. And yeah, so let's just get straight into it. So we'll talk about the champ, Alexander Volkanovski, on the left. So Volk, he's probably one of the greatest to ever do it. Definitely top 10 pound for pound best fighters of all time. Two-time featherweight champion. He's 27-4 with 13 KOs, 3 submissions, and 7 first-round finishes. Also has defended the featherweight title 5 times. Impressive stuff there. Impressive stats. You know, 27-4. The only people he has lost to is Islam Makhachev twice and Ilia Topuria in the UFC. He had a loss outside of it. You know, his good wins: Chad Mendes, former title challenger. Jose Aldo's considered one of the GOATs in general. He beat Max Holloway 3 times, not once, not twice, 3 times. That's just an impressive stats itself. If he had no other good wins on his resume and just beat Max 3 times, that's something impressive there. Brian Ortega, Korean Zombie, Yair Rodriguez, and obviously Diego Lopez. That right there, that resume alone is goated. You know, looking at it, former interim champ in Yair Rodriguez, former champion in Max Holloway 3 times, former champion in Jose Aldo, and then obviously got Diego, Zombie, Ortega, you know, and he beat all these guys when they were still at the top of the game. Brian Ortega, I will be honest, he has fell off a little bit. Same as well. Korean Zombie's retired now, but Volk beat Zombie when he was still decent. He is 37 years old. I don't know if that's going to play a factor in it. You know, normally the smaller guys, when they get a bit older, tend to slow down, but fingers crossed Volk doesn't. Obviously, Volk's from Australia, so he's defending in home turf. I like to see that. The notes I've got down for Volk: he has the experience. He's one of the most experienced guys in 5-round fights. He's great everywhere. You know, name me a place where Volk is not good at. He's got great kickboxing. His kicks are especially one of the big parts of his game. Really good wrestling as well. When he fought Islam Makhachev for the first time, when it was pound for pound number 1 v pound for pound number 2, Volk did really good in the wrestling department. You know, he didn't just get sat on like other people do with Islam. Volk held his own, and also that's another stat to add to Volk. He was also former pound for pound best fighter in the world at one point. Great stamina. Volk's not going to get tired. And this is another thing I've put for Volkanovski. This is not really on his like what he's good at or not, but he might retire after this, depending how this fight goes. I reckon he could. Either way, I could see Volk retiring. If he loses, I don't think he wants to then go climb for the title again. If he wins, I can see him wanting to defend against Mozart and Laron. I think he's fighting in January, like, so you could do. Volk likes to be active, so if he wins, let's say, and he doesn't retire, you could do Diego Lopez start of the year, Mozart level weather at the start, Laron Murphy at the end of the year, if Volk really wants to be that active. But then also, he might retire on a win, so beat Lopez again. Your resume's already there, and you've beaten Diego Lopez twice. You're just defending in Australia, where you're from. It'll be the perfect send-off. But we'll have to wait and see on that. But Volkanovski is an absolute goat. One of my favourite fighters. At first I weren't a huge fan of him when he defeated Max the first time. I was a bit like, I only watched his Jose Aldo fight, and I was a bit like Max being my favourite fighter. I was kind of like, oh, damn it, like that was a really close fight. And then the second one, I thought Max Holloway should have won it. And then after time, Volk grew on me. And I'm so happy that I'm now a Volk fan, because Volk, if you're not an MMA fan, if you are an MMA fan and you're a hardcore fan, you've got to love Volkanovski. He must be on your favourite fighter list somewhere. He's just that fun. He puts on entertaining fights, like, for example, the Islam Makhachev one. Personally, one of my favourite fights of all time, just how technical it is. The Brian Ortega fight stands out. The Diego Lopez one stands out. Just absolutely. Even the Max Holloway 2 one, it weren't an absolute barn burner, but very technical, fun fight. So, yeah, that's all the stuff on Volk. Let's go on to Diego Lopez. Ranked number 2 at featherweight. 27-7. He's got 7 losses. That's, he's got 11 big wins by KO, 12 big wins by submission, and 15 coming by first round finishes. Lopez is a finisher, guys. He really is. He's got that. He's just got that grit about him. He's not afraid to throw hands. He's really crafty on the ground. I mean, I remember when he come into the UFC, watching him against Movsar Evloev, or Evloev, or however you want to say it. But I remember Lopez could do this, because I'm at the time I was like, Mozart's the next guy, in my opinion. I knew Mozart was going to be getting a title shot, but I was like, wow, like Diego Lopez could pull this off here. Imagine that, debuting in the UFC and then beating Diego Lopez. But impressive stuff there. His good wins: Sadiq Usif, when Sadiq was ranked in the top 15. Then he beat Dan Ige, then beat Brian Ortega, and then last time out against Jern Silva. So he's got some good wins there. He's still quite fresh into the UFC. I would say, 3-4 years he's been in the UFC? I want to say 3 years, and he's already stacking up quite a good resume. Obviously, his losses, he's lost to Movsar Evloev and Volkanovski. So if he could beat Volkanovski, that would be interesting. That would be a very good name to put on your resume. He certainly can beat Volk. I mean, the first one was back and forward, back and forward. He's 31 years old. He's from Brazil. So Diego Lopez has time. The notes I've got for him: he's got a chin of steel, an absolute chin of steel. You're not going to knock out Diego Lopez. You're not going to hurt Diego Lopez. Even Volk in the first fight, Volk was hitting him with some absolute bombs, and he just ate it. He's an absolute dog. Like I said, he will just happily throw down with you. For example, in the Jern Silva fight, Jern Silva starts slightly getting the better of him, and Diego Lopez just starts throwing back. He's got really good power. He can put your lights out whenever. He's crafty on the ground. Like I already said with Mozart, he can pull stuff off whenever. It doesn't matter if he's on his back, if he's on top. He will happily try and go for something. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And if it does, then you're in serious trouble. And he's got something to prove in this fight. He really does. He's got obviously the fact he's lost to Volk already. That's going to leave a bit of taste in Diego's mouth. I think he's definitely coming out here, going to be more aggressive. I don't think he's going to show Volk respect in the cage, if you know what I'm saying. Sometimes fighters tend to have respect for their opponents and sometimes don't go for it. I feel like Diego Lopez knows I can hurt him. Lopez did drop Volk in the first fight. And I feel like that's what Diego's going to do. He's going to come guns blazing. He's got good stamina as well, to be fair to him. So he can have a high-paced fight. So, yeah, who do I think is going to win? It's a really tough one. It's a really tough one, guys, because I really want Volk to win, but I could see Lopez winning. But then I say that, and I thought that the first time round. So I'm going to stick with my heart here. I'm going to go with my heart. I want Volkanovski to retain. I think Volk has still got it. He looked even better last time out against Lopez in the first fight. Obviously Volk had the fight against Islam, lost, defended against Jair, then stepped in short notice against Islam, lost, and then got knocked out. Well, got knocked out by Islam in the rematch, and then got knocked out by Ilya the next one. I think people were a bit like, oh, Volk's writ off. And then he goes and puts an absolute masterclass on Diego Lopez. So I think people are very quick to write off people. I think Volk can do this. I think if Volk has the same game plan and stuff, and maybe tend not to trade with Lopez as much, he could definitely win this by decision. He's not finishing Diego Lopez unless it's by submission, rear naked choke or something, but it's very, very slim. So I'm going to go with Volkanovski on a decision here, guys. Let me know what you guys think. We're going to cover the other fights, obviously the co-main event. We're only going to be covering, obviously, this one, Dan Hooker v BST, Rafael Vaziv and Maurizio Rufi, and Tai Tuivasa versus Tausin Teixeira. I can't say his first name. But they're the fights we're covering for UFC 325. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below about this fight. Do you think Volk's got it? Do you think Diego's going to capture the featherweight title? But who knows? But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that business. Enjoy the show.